And we are back, finally, Chapter 9 of Psycholonials. I've been looking forward to this all day, so yeah, let's go check it out. Chapter 9, A Sword and a Crown. Oh yeah, and happy 420, everyone. I thought you left. I was going to, but I couldn't leave you behind like this. Abby, I think I fucked everything up. The fucking speech I just gave? Yeah, I saw it. Wow? This was never the plan. I was never going to do it like that. I think I just fucked the whole country. Oh, you did. There's gonna be a huge civil war or something in this island. Oh god, everyone here is gonna die. It's all my fault. I didn't know what to do. I can't breathe. Abby, I think I'm having another mental breakdown. But instead of ruining my own life, I'm taking everyone in the world down with me. It's okay. Just try to breathe. We can think of something. You should just go. Save yourself. I couldn't bear to see you get bombed along with everyone else. I'd just go to South Korea and marry the rap monster or something. No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to help you through this. Honestly, I don't know what can be done at this point. You may not be able to fix this. The whole situation is probably going to unravel very quickly. All I know is, this is so bad for you, Z. Oh yeah, totally. It's been hurting you, and even if you stayed and tried to lead everyone out of this mess, I don't think you're in the right condition for that. So what are you saying I should do? I think you need to take care of yourself. This is way beyond either of our ability to control now. If you keep trying, I think it's just going to destroy you, and I couldn't live with myself if I let that happen. Are you telling me to just give up and go with you? Option time probably coming up. Yeah, please come with me. Whatever happens next, I don't want to do it alone. But I can't just leave. Everyone's depending on me. If I just fuck off, that'll, leave this insane vacuum of power and all hell will break loose. All hell already has broken loose. But the amount of chaos that my absence will... You're hyperventilating again. This has to stop. Look, Z. I'm going to fix this for you, but you have to trust me. Can you do that? I don't know if... Wheeze, wheeze, wheeze. Yes, please, Abby, fix this. I'm so fucking scared. Okay, then give me those. The guns? Mizzlebip! What's Mizzlebip doing? Hey, Mizzlebip. Okay, I know this is a joke about unbuckling her belt, but, you know, I'll leave that to you. Abby, Mizzlebip. Mizzlebip? It's sad. Here, these are yours now, Mizzlebip. Z is appointing you as the new Supreme Hunk Effects of the Jubilite Movement. Mizzlebip. Surprise. Z is going to text you all of the login data for the important accounts you'll need to run this organization from now on. Won't you, Z? Shock. Double shock. Eh? Oh no, is she gonna kill Mizzlebip? Mizzlebip, no! Yeah. Once you have everything, it's very important you change all the passwords as soon as possible. This is all your responsibility now. You've earned our trust, and we know you will take it seriously. Mizzlebip cry. Now come on, we have to hurry. I had a jet ready to go before I decided to come back. We could probably still catch it if we move fast, but I don't know if I can go to Korea. Don't you see, Abby? It's different for me than you. If I run away, I'm probably going to be hunted for the rest of my life. I made so many enemies, they'll want to kill me, and we have no idea if your K-pop boys will be able to grant me immunity. Well, who said anything about Korea? We don't have to go there. We can go anywhere in the world. Like somewhere more remote. Just bury ourselves somewhere and forget all this. Like where? Alright, I still think Abby is going to get murdered or whatever, and that's just going to set Z over the edge. She's going to take the guns back and be like, okay, we're riding this out. Sort of thing. That's my guess. Anywhere you want. Pick another island further away. We can run away for real this time, like you were originally trying to. Anywhere? Even Stop. Fiji? Yeah, Fiji sounds great, but we really have to go now. The sooner we go, the more likely we can avoid getting shot down by military aircraft. What if they track us? I already made plans with the pilot. We're going to switch planes in Bermuda, then head west and switch again in Hawaii. After that, it was headed to Korea, but we can easily change that final destination. Now come on, I'll drive to the airport. Okay, just give me a second. Supreme Hunk Effects Mizzlebip, we're all counting on you. I know you won't let me down. Godspeed. Mizzlebip. Time to go. Oh, what's behind Mizzlebip? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Mizzlebip. Mizzlebip evil. Okay, I think we all kind of see this is a little too idyllic, and the episode is just starting, so this is not going to last. But anyway, between your 3 flights, you spent almost 24 hours in the air. You swapped planes at each stop to cover your tracks. Abby set it all up in advance. She chartered the planes and made the payments, and you were off. Your nerves were high on initial takeoff for fear you might get shot down, but military planes never even came near you. Wait a minute. I just thought about something. So if she emails or texts all of the passwords and everything to Mizzlebip, I cannot believe that her texts and whatnot are not being intercepted. So she's basically just giving away the keys to the kingdom. But anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. Anyway, moving on. A simple passenger jet taking off in darkness heading southeast. Maybe it wasn't worth their time, or maybe an invasion was never even imminent at all. You took off west from Bermuda just before daybreak. You swept across the burning nation and rode the edge of dawn all the way to Hawaii. The sun outpaced your plane across the sky by a bit, making for one long sunrise following you on your journey. A lovely view, but you slept through most of it. You were very tired. You landed in Fiji sometime in the afternoon. You didn't know which airport or even which of the roughly 300 islands that comprise the nation. All you know is, it's a beautiful day, and as far as you can tell, hardly anyone here could give a shit about the clown revolution that's consuming the rest of the world. To bypass COVID-19 travel restrictions, Abby arranged a series of ludicrously expensive bribes in advance, while you were still both in flight. Then, once off the tarmac, to clear customs, she produced 2 fake passports out of thin air, one for each of you. Ludicrously large bribes in themselves are going to draw suspicion, but anyway. You wonder how long she's preparing for a getaway like this, how long she's been scared enough to think about such things. You feel so bad. You acquired a car, and now drive around the island a bit with no destination in particular. Wherever you go, you're half expecting to see signs that the global unrest that's seeped into society are here as well, but there's none of that, just people living their lives. Strange how the crazy thing you started was simultaneously a global movement that's currently ripping the world apart at the seams, yet also a bubble. As if it was just something you always had the power to log off from, and the moment you do, it starts feeling like all along it was a hot mess of nothing much whatsoever. As if the litigation of the entirety of human civilization was little more than a tempest in a teapot you set to boil a few minutes too long. You find an unattended beach so you can unwind before you decide what to do next, before you ask yourselves, what even is there left to do? What's happening out there? Or do I even want to know? A ton of crazy shit. Where do I even start? I guess all I am wondering is if it's as bad as I think. I have no idea if it's even bad. I don't think anyone does yet. We don't really know what the consequences of this global shakeup will be. I get that. I just mean, war is bad, generally speaking. I'm trying not to read anything about it, because I'm worried if too many people are going to die because of this. There doesn't seem to be much reporting on that yet. The entire country seems to have broken out into a bunch of localized turf struggles. Is there even a country anymore? If you're asking if America has fallen, not yet. Not officially, at least. I think American media is in denial about it. They're all like, I'm not owned, but America is fucking owned. There's probably no going back from this. Back from what, though? What are all these turf struggles? The entire U.S. has splintered into a patchwork of regions under Jubilite control. Almost the entire Pacific Northwest is seceded territory. I'm not even sure if the government is trying to challenge that secession yet, since there are no reports of forces entering that region. Like, the U.S. military is huge. But the reality of all the Civil War is also huge, and I think it's impossible to realistically contain the whole thing at once, no matter how big the military is. So it looks like they're focusing efforts on keeping the rest of the map from disintegrating, putting out all the smaller fires everywhere else. Look, CNN has a map of all of the regions claiming independence, which they keep updating. But I think this is a conservative visualization. My guess is corporate media is doing its part to tamp down on this, keep everybody feeling like it's not a big deal as it looks, and it'll all blow over soon. But I don't think it'll work. You can't really bullshit your way through subduing a revolution any more than you can with a pandemic. Especially since other nations are getting involved and fortifying the revolt. Reinforcements are flowing into the northwest from the Socialist Republic of Wunzifei. What's that? That's what they call Russia now. Oh my god. Yeah. So now troops from that nation and probably a bunch of others, are gathering on what was formerly American soil. Reminds me of how we started importing our rebels to the island. Once we did that, there was no way for the government to reverse the trend without causing a nightmare scenario. Speaking of which, what's happening in Nantucket? Or excuse me, Wunzifei. Well, the good news is, the island never got bombed like I was afraid would happen, at least as far as I can tell. But on the drive to the airport we saw fires everywhere. Yeah, I think that was all from localized skirmishes, not from an outward assault by the military. Results of factional infighting were probably sparked by the CIA's weird covert op, but the actual US military never launched a full invasion or bombing campaign. Not yet, at least. My guess is they're still hanging back and waiting to see if the CIA coup would just get us all to tear each other apart on the island and do the work for them, so they don't even have to invade or bomb, which is sort of what happened, actually. It sure seems like it. I wonder if their drones were spying on the island battle that destroyed my house. Oh, I'm sure they did. The CIA guys back in DC were probably all high-fiving over it. But also, I suspect the main reason the government is reluctant to outright bomb the island is they're all worried about it being seen as, like, bombing a holy site, something that would incite more radicalism and rebellion than they're already dealing with. They probably want to keep New Wunzifei as a chip to play later. How? I think it goes back to that treaty I signed. They may hold out hope something like that is still possible. Like, get the rebellion under control and say, look, you idiot clowns can still have your stupid island if you just fucking stop. But I think that's naive. This is a lot of toothpaste you can't put back in the tube now. I'm sure my crazy speech seriously alarmed them, and it definitely sparked this rebellion, but now that I'm gone, they're probably hopeful that another leader can be reasoned with. You mean Mizzlebip? No, Mizzlebip's dead. What? She was apparently assassinated. Happened sometime while we were flying over the Pacific. Was it the CIA? I don't think so. Looks like there was a different coup from within. A new guy has claimed the title of Supreme Hunk of X. It's some clown I never even heard of. Here, look. No, Mizzlebip! Professor Chucklefuck. Who the hell is that? No idea. Ring 3 was totally wiped out in yesterday's coup attempt, so this is probably just some bozo a little further down the ladder. He saw his shot and took it. Jesus Christ. I don't know, man. Shit's just completely off the rails now. Are you sure this isn't part of the CIA plot? The fact that those agents were involved at all makes me really suspicious. Yeah, something about that. Can't really put my finger on it. What? It was fucking weird. Never really added up to me. On the plane, I couldn't stop thinking, why would undercover CIA agents be carrying badges that just have CIA printed on them in big fucking letters? I guess so they could prove that's what they were to each other. But think about it. These are supposedly the best in the business. If you go undercover, I don't think you're supposed to have any signs of your true identity at all. Guys get, like, captured and tortured over shit like that. It just seems amateur. And the fucking photo, what about it? Hang on a minute, I need to check something. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. What? Look. This dude is the first fucking photo in the Google image search for CIA agent stock photo. God damn it, Mizzlebip. Wait, you're saying Mizzlebip faked the CIA badge? I think that's probably what happened. Oh, I don't think she pulled it off a body at all. So, those weren't CIA guys. I mean, probably not. Do the math here. If she printed out a badge to fuck with me, then suddenly the only piece of hard evidence I have to suspect a CIA coup in the first place was fake. They were probably just a bunch of guys she managed to rope into the mutiny. I bet they didn't even realize she was framing them as agents. Oh god, then she just ended up helping me gun them all down. That conniving bitch. Wow. Are you really sure about this theory? It all seems so confusing suddenly. I mean, no, I'm not sure of anything now. Another possibility would be there really was a CIA plot, which Mizzlebip knew about somehow, and she just opportunistically manipulated the situation to let me know about the plot at the exact right moment when she was sure I would react in the way she wanted. If that's true, like, if there really was a CIA plot brewing, I wonder if the CIA thought they compromised her because she let them think that, to let them believe they had an agent on the inside so she could keep playing both sides of the fence at once. All without saying a word. That way she could get intel from the CIA people on what they were planning, while still having access to all our inside plans. God damn, what the fuck? Who was this clown? And I thought Joculine was bad. Joculine had nothing on this bitch. Well, yes, she certainly was a next level type of snake if she actually did everything you just said, but she's dead now, so I don't think this is actually worth getting that stressed out about. I know, I'm just... ugh, it's so frustrating. I think I just let myself get hoodwinked out of my own shit, like, I just got pranksist myself. What a fucking idiot I was. Lol, haha. Z, I found this badge. It says CIA. Does that mean anything to you? Whoa, thanks, Mizzlebip. Great detective work there. Arg, I can't believe what a gullible idiot I've been. Hey, try to relax. Remember, this wasn't about you getting tricked out of your leadership position. This was about you making a decision to do what's best for your mental health. It doesn't even matter that more lying assholes were plotting against you. In fact, it just proves you did the right thing. You really needed to get out of the snake pit while you still could. It was killing you, remember? Yeah, I know. I know all that, Abby. This was the right move, but it's just going to hurt for a while, even if it was for the best. I worked hard on all of that. I put so much of myself into it, and it just turned out into whatever the fuck just happened. It will get easier with time. We're so far away from all that now, and you can ignore it. Well, it's a complete train wreck, and I'm not sure I'll be able to look away from even if I wanted to, because it's my train wreck. Why would I ignore it? It's basically my life's fucking work. Are you saying I should completely tune out? I think it'll be okay to check in with the progress of the world sometimes. You don't have to completely tune out forever. Once you're feeling better, we might even find it fun to watch. Like, try to focus on the good things that came of it. It'll be like a crazy show happening on the world stage that we can sort of follow as spectators for the rest of our lives. And if there are good things that come of it, you can take some satisfaction in that. I just don't know if I can have the same level of detachment from it as you. Treating it as some show or whatever. It's not a show, it's the fucking planet. It's billions of people's lives. Oh yeah, I know. I'm really not trying to trivialize what we did, part of me is so relieved for us to be out of the situation. I'm just looking for any silver lining I can find. Lol. Well, that's fine for you, but frankly, this was all my shit, not yours. And I'm not looking for, like, coping methods or self-care bullshit to pull me through this. I just doubt I'll be able to fully shrug off my complicity in whatever happens next. Mainly, I just hope some good comes of it. Like, who knows? Maybe I actually did destroy capitalism. Maybe. Well, just have to wait and see. I feel funny thinking about that, about examining what I actually wanted to see result from this. I think it's forcing me to look at this a little closer. Try to figure out why I was doing it. Sitting here now, it sure doesn't feel like it was about making the world a better place. It was probably just the only way left. I could think to express myself. After years of pain and trauma and running away from shit, mostly it was a lot of anger. At my parents. At all the antis who terrorized me. Almost feels like it was about everything but doing something idealistic. I think that tracks. The need to share things with the world, like art or any kind of content, it can come from a lot of crazy places. It's not like my influence and stuff was about anything principled or that worthwhile to the world. I think I just enjoyed the idea of having so many people care about what I was doing. Lol, I didn't even think there was anything wrong with just admitting I liked the attention. It was fun. Yeah, it really was. For a while at least. Until it got nuts and possibly ruined human civilization forever. Haha, come on. No, it didn't. I mean, yeah, probably not. In the end, it's just another one of humanity's many upheavals. In the grand scheme of history, maybe even these moments are a dime a dozen. It's just that we happen to be living through it, not even to speak of being directly responsible for it. So excuse me if I may be inclined to wax philosophical on exactly whatever the fuck it was that just happened. Like, was it good? Bad? If it's bad, why? What went fucking wrong? I feel like I've already been asking myself these things for weeks, but, lol, as you said, it's your shit, not mine. So what do you think happened? I still think we were right about everything. Lamau. We were right to start this movement. Right to revolt against our shitty, horrible country. Right to take a stand against capitalism. Right to say the imperialist origins of America and lots of other countries are the root of most evils that they currently face. Most of all, we were just right to fight, to stop rolling over and taking whatever shit they fucking gave us. What went wrong was like everything else. Like what? Like these fucking people, these snakes and interlopers, saboteurs, clout chasers, power grabbers, liars, and backstabbers. I mean, I get it now. All this left-wing shit I've been ranting about isn't wrong on its merits, it just usually goes like this. These infuriatingly stupid motherfuckers all get together, and the natural configuration they all gravitate towards is a bunch of circular firing squads, over and over and over. Yeah, that's exactly what kept happening to us, lol. So you think it's really like a universal thing? Not just something we fucked up? I don't know, maybe. I saw stuff firsthand that, like... I kept asking myself, how many other assholes in history were dealing with exactly this shit? Or watching things unravel for the exact same basic reasons, even before there was social media? How much of the attraction to our movement was propelled by all the weird, attention-seeking narcissism that clout chasers think they need so badly? But weren't those kinds of clout-chasing dynamics in play during other periods, like fame, power, and influence, are all kind of the same, no matter what period you look at, or what these platforms resemble? How can that sort of mass vanity pouring into a scene not end up perverting movements like ours, warping it into a sort of sleazy racket? Not even a money racket, but worse somehow, like a fucked up ego racket. And wasn't I just there to blame? Wasn't I just as much to blame? Where was the point I stopped being able to tell the difference between fighting for a just cause and feeding my own ego as the supreme hunk of facts I could probably think on the rest of my life and not be able to tell you when or how that happened? So you don't think this spun out of control because, like, we went too far or it got too violent or anything? You think the real problem is the natural incoherence of such movements was always bound to inevitably surface because people are just nuts and jump into it for all the wrong reasons? Yeah, pretty much. So what do you think the solution is? Well, if I knew that, I sure wouldn't be sitting here on this beautiful fucking Fiji beach. Lol, maybe it's good you don't know then. I don't know. If I had to take a stab at it, maybe the problem wasn't really just me. Aw, come on. No, it wasn't. Nothing at all would have happened without you. I don't mean me personally. I just mean a leader in general. I believed in what I was doing, but putting myself at the center of it all was fucking up my brain too much. So it fucked up the movement too. Maybe there shouldn't even be any leaders. I guess maybe nothing would ever really get done if that were true. But at the same time, man, the whole cult of personality thing really fucking sucks. Lol, yep. I don't know, Z. Call me crazy or overly optimistic, but I'm still hopeful everything will be okay once all these revolutions settle down. I still want to believe humanity can figure things out for itself if given the chance. Maybe all it needed was a little push. A push only you could give it. I'd be more willing to lol it off, just like you, and say, yeah, this was all a big goof gone too far, but everything will probably turn out okay later. But there's a creepy feeling I can't shake about this. What? It's not like all of this shit came out of nowhere. These dreams I kept having. What if it wasn't just my disturbed brain making it all up? What if Riotous was real? Anything's possible, I guess. What would it even matter if it was? Did I just inadvertently help an alien colonize Earth with a lot of batshit clown philosophies? Am I the useful idiot in another insidious imperialist campaign? But I was too stupid to realize I was his pawn because I was caught up in the idea that it was all coming from me? There are a lot of ways you could decide to worry about all this, but this one seems pretty out there, to be honest. I don't know. I don't really think they were just dreams, but they may not have been literal messages from an alien either. Maybe, I can't explain what I mean. He could have been a product of my deranged imagination, but there are times when I catch myself dozing and jump out of my sleep with a sudden terrifying thought that he might be the one who is dreaming of me. That's a much crazier and more paranoid thought than if you just wanted to believe he was a real alien. To save your sanity, maybe you should just believe he's real and not worry about it. What would even be the harm of that? So, a clown talked to you in your sleep and convinced you to help him take over the world by proxy, with like clown lore instead of ships and guns. Kinda cool, actually. And it also sort of lets you off the hook. If you are under the influence of some sinister alien force, then no matter how this keeps playing out, it wasn't due to bad intentions on your part. Regardless of my intentions, I mean, imperialism is still bad, right? No matter what form it takes, that's one of the things I kept hammering in my manifesto. Practically all of the evils on Earth right now seem to stem from it. The further back you trace everything, hell, isn't what we're doing now just more colonialism? What, sitting here on this island? Yeah, I mean moving here. Just another couple of Westerners invading this island paradise in the Pacific because I thought it sounded cool. Like, this is basically what happens, isn't it? Little by little until indigenous populations are displaced and native cultures are conquered. Well, that's not even why we're here. It's not a vacation, and we certainly didn't do it because we thought it was cool. We're basically fucking fugitives now. We have to live somewhere. That's actually a good point. A lot of people that moved to America weren't being like, hey, America, that looks cool. They were driven out by, other forces like famine or war and whatnot. I don't really think refugees should really count as imperialism so much. But, whatever. Moving on. Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's just how it always is. Nobody can ever relocate to somewhere else on the world without passively participating in something vaguely evil. But most of these people could hardly stand to stay put where they were either. So what are they even supposed to do? The whole history of the globe is just a long chronicle of hysterical people running away from shit, away from the persecution of assholes or the problems of their own making. It's hard to even blame all those Europeans for running across the ocean to get away from the plagues and the famines and shitty kings ruining their own countries, but the more they piled onto the new continent, the more they turned it into a huge graveyard for the people that they were visiting. And if that wasn't enough, then they set up shop, put up bright neon lights telling the world this is the place where all the good shit happens. If the vibes of your homeland are rancid, come here. We gentrified the place already, buried all the squatters, and found when we got here. Now you can do whatever you want. Go nuts. And that marketing effort worked. It kept bringing more and more people in. People on the run from their pain and traumas, and once they arrive, they just perpetuate the misery that came before them, while simultaneously becoming fresh victims of it. That's what's so weird about it. You're on a way to a new country to find a better life and just become complicit in the evil of its original settlement. Yet you also become a victim of its false promises. You got lured by its bait, and then it runs you into the fucking ground with all the other bodies that were sacrificed to serve this lie. My parents were just another couple of sacrifices, enticed to America when they were young and running away from shit. They took the bait, and the nation utterly destroyed them. If any country in the history of the world deserved to get fucked up this badly, it was ours. Yeah, I felt the same way at times, but it wasn't as personal for me, obviously. Just a thought I had every now and then, maybe due to feeling guilty for having so much. I wonder if people in other countries end up feeling the same way about wherever they're born. Like, this is just the worst place on earth. Someone needs to come along and fuck it up. Maybe. All I can speak to is where I'm from and how I felt about it. I dreamt about them, actually. Huh? My parents, while sleeping on the plane. Yeah? It's the first time I dreamt about them in a long time, in a way that wasn't horrifying, like some stressed dream about my mom or some ghoulish body horror about my dad. It was very peaceful, actually. They said they were proud of me. Aw. Well, you certainly did do something noteworthy. I bet they really would be proud. Yeah, but probably not in the way you might think. When I said America destroyed them, I really meant that. It got my dad chasing some idealized version of capitalist success that he could never quite reach. Went after it so hard his health fell apart and he dropped dead. Then my mom went insane, and so did I, kinda. They all had their broken dreams riding on me, and when I self-destructed, the final hope of realizing success through a family legacy died too. Then finally, my mom got finished off by a disease our psychopathic country had no ability or even desire to contain. So when they told me they were proud of me for doing what I did to America, it's not because I managed to reach levels of success they never could. It's because they wanted revenge. Uh-oh. Hold on. I gotta get into Gotta get some more liquid libation here for what's about to happen. That face just kind of, that face. Hold on, be right back. Okay, ready to hunker down and go through. We're about 45 minutes in. Time to ride this out to the finale. You knew the finale wasn't going to be on a beach. I mean, jeez, come on. Oh, let's go. Well, if that's what they think you accomplished, I don't think anyone can argue with that. All I know is, no matter what it is you accomplished, whether it was fucking up America or making a super popular clown-themed Instagram account, I'm proud of you, Z. Ooh, they baited me there. Starting up the happy music. Actually, Abby, I was thinking of just going by Jen now. Oh? Z is the name of a fugitive and war criminal, probably on wanted lists in most countries. It's also the name of an angry teen. Someone programmed by our crappy country to feel ashamed of where my family came from. Conditioned to cooperate in that erasure, or to even, want to help our nation overwrite the cultures it absorbs. It's the name of a kid who resented her parents, but the only reason I resented them is because the country fucked them up just as bad as it fucked up me, and I took the brunt of the stress and madness that caused for them. Jen is the name they gave me, and I don't hate them anymore. What? Oh, nothing. It just feels nice to hear you say all this. I'm just here to listen. What the fuck? Huh. Says Professor Chucklefuck is dead. What? Already? Yeah, looks like yet another fucking assassination plot. But he just took over. God damn it. There's some other girl claiming Supreme Hunkafact status now. Sugarberry V? Are there 6 other Sugarberries? I guess it's 6 in Roman numerals or whatever. At least there's an informal registry of clownsunas. Lots of people end up picking the same names by coincidence, so the registry tacks on Roman numerals. I didn't even know that. God, it's all so much to keep track of. Yeah, they love it though. People end up embracing their numerals. It makes them sound more legit, like a bunch of self-important fucking clown popes running around. I guess nobody did that with our names. No, the register blacklisted ours. Everyone's in Ring 3, actually. Oh shit. Is this bitch serious? What? I'm seeing comments around indicating that other Jubilites named Sugarberry are ending up dead. Oh, for fuck's sake. Is she already going for, a worldwide Sugarberry purge? I guess so. What an absolute fucking dumpster fire this all is. Yep. I'm telling you, the cult of fucking personality. If any of these bozos are holding their breath waiting for a good clown to rise out of all this flaming circus wreckage, I think they're gonna be real disappointed. Ugh. I hate this. I know it's frustrating, but we don't have to be looking at any of it, you know? Ha 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 ha. What? It's just so ridiculous, the idea of blocking it out. I mean, I guess you're right, because what the fuck else is there to do now? It just seems so incredibly American of us. What does? Ignoring it? Yeah. Making a royal fucking mess of a place, then washing our hands of it all. As if to say, well, not our problem anymore. That's true, but if you keep looking at it, at least in the short term, all you're really doing is torturing yourself for no good reason. I know. It's so hard to fully tear myself away from it, though. I keep thinking of what I could have done differently. And how much there was writing on getting this right, like seeing some of the pitfalls in advance, like the treachery and the insanity of others. Sure, you could have had more foresight and dodged certain bullets, But think of it this way. If you were better at that kind of stuff, it would have just meant you were trapped in that scene much longer. I guess so. Some leaders manage to stay in power for a long, long time. But that's probably only because they get really good at always keep looking over their shoulder, identifying who the rats are in advance, dealing with them much earlier. Like certain types of dictators or old Roman emperors made an art form out of staying in power by doing anything imaginable, no matter how nasty, just to keep themselves alive. But how is that any way to live? What does that do to your soul? Probably just slowly destroys it. And you have a good soul. It would be so sad to watch it slip away. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Of course, I know all this. I'm still just kind of venting about this huge earth-wrecking debacle that also happens to be entirely my responsibility. And you keep like, arg, it's so shitty for me to even be frustrated. The completely insane amount of patience and understanding and compassion you show me, no matter how much I fuck up, I don't even understand. I suck so bad, Abby. What the fuck could I have possibly done to deserve so much support from you? Why do you keep acting like it's worth spending so much energy trying to save me from my own stupid shit? She rips off the mask and she is, riotous. You know why. I think maybe I've been doing a lot of stuff that's unfair to you. I've been constantly so far up my own ass about, like, world affairs and managing my circle of clown idiots that I've been callously blowing off your feelings about, everything. I feel like I've fucked with you so much. Taking your trust and friendship for granted, someday I think I owe you a good conversation about how I feel about a lot of things, like us. If you think there's nothing inside me when it comes to that isn't true. I'm still so emotionally blocked by all this stuff. I'm still deeply and profoundly sad about everything I just left behind, like I let something incredibly incredible slip through my fingers. And combined with everything else about my past that hurts, it leaves me feeling broken inside. So I really do want to talk to you about this, but it may take a long time for me to heal enough to do that. Does that make sense? Yes, I understand. I think I always knew that's how you felt. I never wanted to push it. Just know that I'm here for you. Anytime you feel ready to open up, take all the time you need. I'm not going anywhere. Where would I even go? We already ran away together. The rest is up to you. Decision time. Ba-ba-bum. Your eyes return to the cynically magnetic pull of your phone. The little rectangle that's always been a limitless portal to the most maddeningly stupid and terrible things you will ever read in your life. It just happens that now the stupid and terrible things were mostly caused by you. That's the new Supreme Hulk of X. It looks like Sugarberry 6 is trying to take the cake. She's working hard on making a bigger mess of things than you ever could. Some of the things you're reading about her already almost seem like they couldn't possibly be true, but somehow you don't find any of this hard to believe at all. You really hope this psycho bitch kicks the bucket soon, just like her short-lived predecessor, and you have a feeling she probably will at the rate this is going. You check CNN's map again, which appears to be in constant flux. Various regions are changing shape, size, and color all the time. What even is happening? The revolution is spinning out of control. Would this still be happening if you stayed? Or would you have managed to bring some semblance of order to the rebellion? One thing you know for sure is this. None of this would be happening if you hadn't given that insane, impetuous speech. Maybe the only conclusion you can draw with any confidence is that losing your cool carries a cost, even if you do happen to be right about everything. Uh-oh, running out of spoons. Wonder if they're going to bring back the psychic damage knife again. Oh, that's it. They're going to bring back that psychic damage knife again. It's finally going to, get through the entire bar. Then she's going to snap. This is going to be a long one. You can't stop thinking of all the things you could have done better. You turn it over and over in your head. It's draining your energy again, killing your spoons, making you tired. However much sleep you got on the plane, you guess it wasn't enough. You begin to wonder if you could go to sleep for the rest of your life and still never feel fully rested. Uh-oh. She's gonna doze off and talk to Riotous. Dun dun dun. She's going to be sitting out in the hot sun, sleeping, and she's going to be red as a lobster. Finally, you made it. I said we'd meet again soon. We've met before? Well, not really. I've been speaking to you in the margins of your awareness for a while. We've been having a pretty good time, actually. Me, you in your sleep, and a whole bunch of others. Others? Who? We're just a bunch of fucking eavesdroppers. Nosy motherfuckers, curious interlopers, a vast peanut gallery of sorts, an army of total clowns bigger than even the one formerly at your command. Okay, I don't have the slightest fucking idea what you're talking about. What about Riotous? What about him? Where is he? He's gone. Are you? You know who I am. You said it yourself once. I am Z. I am the successor to Riotous, Lord Queen of the Jubilites. And you could be the successor too, and say you finally qualify. But with that title comes the responsibility of making a real choice. Maybe the first real one you've ever made in your life. It isn't too late, you know. Are you saying I should go back? I'm not saying you should. I'm only saying that it's not too late. All of it, everything you worked so hard to build, it's all still there. You think they wouldn't welcome you back with open arms? You think they wouldn't go apeshit for your triumphant return? You see what's been happening. The chaos, the power struggles, the splintering of the movement. You can even imagine the euphoria that every Jubilite in the world would feel if you rose from the ashes to reclaim your throne. I've thought about it, but Abby and I... Who do you think you're talking to? As if I'm not perfectly aware of how you feel about her, but she's only a mortal. She will slip away someday, just like all the other simps you have dancing at the end of your many strings, whereas you are faced with an opportunity. A chance that only one in untold trillions of people across the galaxy will ever get the chance to have. You could be a goddess on your own planet for all time to come. Or you could then achieve a legendary status as Riotous did on so many other planets of your own choosing. You could instruct new successors, sculpt them in your image, push their words, worlds to even greater heights than you achieved on your own. You could have immortality, stretching your name into the fabric of the universe itself. Stitching your name into the fabric of the universe itself, I mean. You could live not in a fragile, infinitesimal human body, but in the realm of dreams, of the ephemeral, yet eternal. You could trade what pitiful clout you've earned online for the clout of vast interstellar populations who would worship you for countless generations across unfathomable expanses of space and time. All of this could still be yours. And it's just sitting there, waiting for you to take it back. So think it over. You could do all the crazy shit I just said, or, you could just be happy. Lol. So you're putting this to me like, I need to make a big choice here, but I already got on a damn plane and flew here to get away. Didn't I already decide? I don't know, did you? You're the one dreaming about it after all. Which must mean you're still conflicted. A dream is just the mind continuing to struggle with a question, even while the body pleads for rest. So given that I finally have your full attention, and you now appear to be rising to the occasion as a true successor, why don't we try this one last time? Try what? The fuck is all this? I guess you missed all this fun we had. You were kinda busy. Alright, let me go ahead and save. But now you're ready to unlock these. Everybody's been waiting for this moment. Jen? Well, go on. Open them. So, what is the point of this again? This is supposed to help me, decide what to do or not? Haha, no, not help you. It will enable you outright. The choice is before you now. What are these? These represent the duality facing you. A sword and a crown. So if I pick the sword, I go back and fight? Lol, no. You still don't get it, do you? You just aren't smart enough yet. But you can become as smart and all-knowing as me someday. If you make the right choice, that is. Whatever. I don't care. Being as smart as you, I just want to know what the fuck all this is all about. So the crown there, I pick that and I reclaim my throne. I go back and become the supreme Honkifax and everybody loves me for it. Yes, the crown embodies a renewed commitment to your responsibility. Finishing what you started, the glory, the infamy, the immortality, and infinite adulation across the cosmos. All that I have mentioned and more. It can be yours again with a simple affirmation of this choice. And yet, if you look carefully, you will see it is not an ordinary crown. It is many times heavier, and the edges are razor sharp. It will draw blood and press into your skull. The weight it applies to you, just as the many feet pushing on your once quaint little colony, will mostly serve to perpetually remind you of a different reality, the one where that weight could have been lifted, the reality where you chose to be free instead. So then, the sword, that represents this freedom. How exactly? So like I said, Jen, you could just be happy. You could be free of it all, dispense with the grandiose altogether, leave the forefront of your revolution to those still stricken with thirst for power, but never be so naive as not to understand that an abdication of this responsibility, the failure to take what you started and see it through to the bitter end, it will always carry a cost. It may not be felt right way, it may never be felt at all, but the decision to wash your hands of the blood you've spilled to come this far manifests itself as an invisible sword that will dangle over your head for the rest of your life. And maybe this weapon will drop swiftly. There would be a certain mercy in that, or perhaps it will remain suspended in the sky, creeping downward, almost imperceptibly until the day you pass away peacefully in your bed. The point is not that it will drop. The point is that it is there, and you will always feel its presence. Such is the true peril in choosing what you perceive as freedom. So go on. You've waited long enough. It's time to reward your patience. What will you choose? Wait, I don't know if I... Excuse me, Jen. You were under the impression I was talking to you? Huh? You is a funny word, isn't it? A simple pronoun. They've always been so tricky, haven't they? As a clown gender individual, any pronouns may apply to you, a single person. But all the same, many people at once can fit into the single pronoun, you. Just like a clown car. Lol. How many people can fit into the clown car or pronoun labeled you? A million clowns? Millions? When I was saying you, I was addressing them. And now they'd all like to have their say, Jen. Who are you to deprive them of this choice? What? Mwahaha! What are you gonna choose? Alright, let's choose chaos. Yeah! The psychic damage thing's back. Ah! Why are you resisting? The clown car has made its choice. Shouldn't you feel grateful to have the burden of this decision lifted for you? No matter. We can just try again. As many times as it takes if you insist on being stubborn. Let's try it again. Bam! What the fuck? Looks like your clowns really want to go with the crown. Anyway, you're still resisting. What's up with that? Will they keep doing that? Will they keep having new ones? Oh, wow, they really want to run with the crown, and yet you still put up a fight. I don't get it. Isn't this what you wanted? Didn't you want to be a successor? Bam! Fuck you! Incredible. They really want you to choose the crown. That is some absolutely unreal consistency and dedication shown by all. I'm getting the impression that they want you to actually click the sword, but if you click the crown enough times, you're probably going to get something. I know it's kind of metagamey, but I'm just too curious to see what happens with the crown. Unreal consistency and dedication shown by, all things considered, a massive group of complete idiots who have no vested interest in your well-being or personal agency. You are sure you really want to let them all down like this? Ooh. Bam! Stop trying to tell me. What to think? All right. Okay, that was cool. I definitely wanted to... Oh, they didn't. Oh, you... Oh, arg. What is this? Hey, it's me again. Don't worry. Not that crazy fucking godhead version of myself you just saw me incinerate with my brain fire or whatever I did there. It's the real me this time, Jen. I can understand what you're going for here, or maybe you aren't. Maybe you just stumbled on this save file by accident. All I can say is that what I'd be trying here if I were you. See, I used to be a pretty big-time gamer. And for the sake of completionism, I'd want to set up a save file right before my final dream. God, stupid metagaming. I want to see what happens if you click the sword, so I could proceed to spam the hell out of all the possible sword crown combos to see if I could get a different ending. I also used to be to do a lot of coding, and there were, what, 5 binary sword crown choices in a row? So if I were in your shoes, I'd know right away that's 32 possible permutations to try out. Which sounds like a huge pain in the ass, but if you're a true gamer like I was, you gotta do it, right? Grr, I want to do it, though. The thing is, given how much you were just trying to mess with me, I'm not even sure if you deserve this courtesy. But since I ran away, I've been trying to do things differently. Not hang on to stupid grudges so much, you know? So, in the spirit of rising above your petty grievances, I figured I'd do you all a solid by deleting all your save files and leaving a note here letting you know not to bother with all that. No matter what pattern of choices you make, they all lead to the same ending. That's because it was always my choice to make, not yours. And I was always going to choose the sword regardless of what hoops you tried to make me jump through. For all that's been made of free will and the significance of my choices versus yours, the funny thing is, I don't think it ever was much of a choice for me at all. I honestly think the path I chose was the only one I was even capable of. I love her too much to even think about leaving her again. Maybe I owe you a proper letter, as long as I'm going to the trouble of rolling up this note, shoving it in a bottle, and lobbing it in the ocean. Hard to say where it ended up. I guess that wherever you happen to be right now, but then, I'm sure all shores look the same to a bottle that's been adrift for a long time. And in a sense, all shores pretty much are the same, aren't they? They're just the places where the ocean finally decides to leave the dirt alone and benevolently allows us a little space to walk about. It's always made me happy to think about the ocean, puts me in a good mood. So, in keeping with these good vibes, why don't we stretch out a little more, give my final thoughts more breathing room. Hang on, I'm going to do the thing where we hop over to the left side of the screen so I can put more words down at once. Maybe you're wondering how long it's been since that final dream I had. There's no reason to get too precise about it. Let's just say it's been years. Long enough for me to settle down a little more, reflect on what that was all about, and finally get around to writing you this letter. If I did this any sooner, maybe there are a few things I'd still be too proud to admit, so I'm glad I waited. Too proud to admit what? Okay, here's one. For a few years after I got here, I felt pretty guilty about destroying America. It felt crazy for me to think that, way after all my big talk, and all the guilt certainly had nothing to do with changing my mind in regards to the issues I had with my old country. It's just that making a big mess of and leaving a bunch of people to kill each other has a way of haunting you for a while. I checked up on the news pretty often at first, and sometimes I even cried when I read about it, but slowly I stopped checking as much and felt less guilty little by little. Eventually I lost interest in checking on it at all. I haven't read a story about the place formerly known as America in years, except to glance at a stray headline here and there. It has the exact same feeling I used to have as an American when I would detach a headline about some other foreign country where crazy shit was going on, like, not my business, too complicated, involving names I'm unfamiliar with, and political parameters that escaped my ability to keep up with long ago. In the end, America is just another big landmass like all the others around the world. It's the same shape as it ever was, covered mostly by the same people who were there when I left, and I'm sure they're all trying to get by in much the same ways as they always were. The only thing that really changed is I erased all the imaginary fucking lines that got drawn all over the continent by a bunch of completely deranged people a couple 100 years ago. Good riddance to fake shit. So, I get a funny feeling when I look at the maps now. They're worthless now because nobody can update them fast enough in this global political climate. Lol. Watching Google Maps go through its various contortions over the years has been hilarious, actually. I've kind of adapted my imposing, line blindness on myself. I look at the continental U.S. and I just ignore whatever lines the cartographers are peddling these days, and I focus on the shape of the water hugging the land, same as it ever was, and it's sort of comforting in that sense. There's that funny-looking hook shape that makes up Cape Cod. Below you have the decapitated dragon. That's how I used to see it when I was a kid. Martha's Vineyard is a dragon head. You can see it if you imagine the southwestern tip is the snout. Then, its stumpy little body is Nantucket. Even when I was on the island, acting like a warlord, glancing at a map would always make me laugh. For this reason, there's a dead dragon again, lol. There was this crazy character who used to mutilate her stuffed dragons. Looking at those islands always reminded me of her. I don't know. I'm just shitposting here at this point. But what I'm trying to say is, I just really love islands. I've always been naturally drawn to them, fantasizing about them, making absurd getaway plans, focusing on certain islands, and then I literally did run away to an island twice, and now I think I understand why I was so obsessed with them. It's because they can't be as easily defined by the invisible bullshit lines people like to draw on maps. I'm getting a lot of Zero Wing Pixie vibes here for all you Ace Combat fans. From Ace Combat Zero, there's a character called Zero Wing Pixie, and like one of his famous lines is he's flying above an area. It's like, I don't see any lines from up here. And, yeah. So anyway, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Their shapes are always naturally carved out by the ocean that surrounds them, and people can never tell the ocean what to do. The only influence people can have on the ocean is through climate change, and all that does is make the damn thing bigger, makes it stronger, almost like wakes it up. Its slumber is what allowed us to walk on these bits of dry dirt in the first place. Once it slowly stirs from its slumber, it begins to remind us who was in charge all along, who has the ultimate ability to drown this planet of the self-important infestation known as humanity. We probably have a little ways to go before that happens, so we might as well spend it reflecting on the very suicidal tendencies we indulge in to keep the doomsday clock ticking away, inch by watery inch. Which makes me think of, God, I almost hate to even bring her up. Almost feels like a sour note here, but this was supposed to be about the truth, and the truth is I still think about her all the time. When you kill somebody while looking them right in the eyes, even if they deserved it, they stick with you forever. That last look on Jockuline's dumb clowny face is smeared into my brain for life. It's not like how I felt about destroying America for a while. I've never felt guilty about her. She was pretty awful and had to go, but since I was her executioner, she became part of me for good. Just like in our old fandom days, whatever garbage we read or played got soaked up by our souls and became a permanent part of our identities. She and I went way back, to when we were just kids, mingling in the same fandoms, except I never paid much attention to her or cared about her at all. She was just some rando to me. There's a lot of people like that in fandom. It's not like you can be fucking besties with everybody. She kept trying to get in my face, but honestly, I barely even remember this because she was just some nobody trying to make something happen with me when I just plain wasn't interested. I was like 14. I had other shit going on. School, depression, I don't know. I can't remember a single interaction we had back then, because all her pesky shit was just that unimportant. But she probably didn't like the fact that I kept brushing her off. So later, while I was going through some huge life problems, she spun up some bullshit about how the bad things I said online were the height of immoral behavior. As if she could give the slightest fucking shit about virtue, lol. It's just an easy way to run someone into the ground once you decide you don't like them. And she knew that. Everybody does, I think. But then, lo and behold, she shows up later, dressed as a clown, kissing my ass, as if nothing ever happened. Drives me crazy thinking about this, not because of what a snake she was, it's more than that. It's the obsession, but even weirder, it was the fucking carelessness about how she played it. She didn't even delete her old account before going undercover. Then she's all strutting around in front of me, taking off her coat, showing off her tattoo. I think at some level she wanted me to know, wanted me to be like, I'm back, bitch. Time for round 2, or 3, or whatever, in this one-sided game we were playing that only one should care about. Actually, it's the only thing about this that makes me feel kind of sad about her. All the posturing and conniving. I think the only explanation is that she liked me the whole time and wanted me to notice her, or maybe more like hate-liked me. Bear in mind the fandoms we used to roll in were pretty whack, and gave us all some weird ideas about human interaction and romance. I don't know, maybe kind of poking some fun at his old Homestuck comic that he was working on. That has some weird ideas of romance and whatnot, so I'll just leave it at that. And the most fucked up thing about this is, I kind of get it. I see where she was coming from practically every step of the way. She was just empty inside, and earlier she was trying to use some sick made-up rivalry with me to fill the void. Then later, when I started a clown revolution, she jumped all over that, because if she could use it to make herself feel important, then maybe she would fill the void instead. Is she unique in this way? Hell no. We're all the same. We're all empty inside, grasping for ways to make ourselves whole, and I was too. Remember at the beginning when I was drunk and depressed in my apartment, wondering what I was about? It's the same shit she was probably going through. She coped with these demented phony persecution campaigns. I coped with well, you saw how that all went. Literally, everybody is doing this, and you can never tell them that's what they're doing. They'll deny it with their dying breath, and I would have to if you tried to come at me while I was in full psycho mode. Everybody's got their cover story to deflect any honest attempt to penetrate the layers of bullshit. Actually, it's about advocating for a higher standard of virtue in the media we consume. Alright, whatever you say, pal. Actually, it's about ethics and game journalism. Oh, Gamergate. Sure, man, that totally makes a ton of sense. Actually, it's about holding certain individuals accountable for their previously problematic behavior. Oh, for sure. Nothing sus about that at all. Actually, it's all about the pride I have for my nation. Right, never heard that one before. It's definitely not an idea that's repeatedly led to insanely bad problems for anything, so keep having fun with that. The sad thing is, the harder you bang the table and insist your cover stories are the real reason why you're tripping on some preposterous shit, the flimsier they appear to everyone watching. After a while, people catch on that you're mostly trying to convince yourself with the cover story and not others so much. You've just got so much invested in believing you bought into all this shit for the right reasons you're saying you are, and not for the sake of filling the void inside you. Because if you were forced to admit that, the void would open back up, and there it is again. All that pain and existential misery, can't let that happen, right? So Sometimes we even aid and abet each other in keeping our mutual bullshit cycle spinning, like a sick kind of treaty. You don't call my bullshit if I don't call yours, because then where would we be? Are you nodding along with this very wisely? Well, I should hope the fuck so, because it's all as true as shit. But maybe you're then wondering, okay, sounds cool and all, Jen. But what's the actual answer? How do you put a stop to this? How do you kill your own cover stories and fill the void with something better? I'm not that good at coming up with solutions. It's more like my skill is identifying problems and then destroying them utterly. Like what I did to America. But that was probably a solution. But was that a solution? I don't know. Probably not. So, I can say a few things that might fuck you up forever, but don't hold your breath waiting for me to give you the one neat trick that finally unfucks your Humpty Dumpty ass back together again. Here's the cheap answer I could give you. It's love. Love will put you out of the pit of despair and fill the hole within your soul for good. It's really tempting to believe that, especially since I guess that's what pretty much happened to me. Ha ha ha. That's just me though, and it would be stupid to take the lessons from the insane shit I just went through and try to broadly apply them to somebody I know nothing about. It's also just wrong. I could sit here from the comfort of this Fijian? Is that how you said? Fijian paradise and tell you, if only you get out there and find that perfect waifu, you'll finally be healed. But then I'd just be setting you up to chase something else. You probably won't find it right away, or maybe never at all. Then you might feel bitter and angry about that, take it out on whichever poor fool you were chasing, and sink right back behind another fucking cover story that's even worse than the one you started out with. So this can't be about chasing somebody. In fact, investing yourself in chasing anything kinda sucks, and just amounts to the same blind alley, whether it's a poor person or an ideology or some other vague shit. So, that's a no on love? Well, not quite. It's a no and a yes. But I had to drop the no part first because that was important. But to get to the yes part, you need to understand where I'm coming from. It's way too simple to say Abby swooped in and her love and support healed me completely. That's not what I mean. Think of it this way. Imagine you filled the void in your soul with whatever brand of horseshit someone hooked you on, or you hooked yourself on, and you're in the abyss. You're miserable, and you don't even realize. Attacking people, obsessed with pointless crap, regurgitating the same talking points forever. Sinking deeper into this fucked up place every day. It's not good for you, but you just can't see it. Now imagine there's someone nearby. Maybe you just met, or maybe they've always been there. They're just smiling at you, but you became blind to their smile. You took it for granted because it was always just there. They can see what you're putting yourself through, but you can't. Now imagine they jump into the abyss with you to try to pull you out. They do it at enormous cost to themselves, and you return the favor by fighting them at every turn. But they just keep trying, and there's no reward for them at all except getting to see you become a happier person. If that isn't what love is, then I don't think love exists. So, back to this sort of generic question I asked. Is love the answer? The no part is obvious, but the yes part is kind of subtle. You can't go chasing love to cure yourself, and yet I still think it's an essential ingredient for getting better. Maybe the trick is to realize it's not as short supply as you think. People who want to see you do better and be happy are everywhere. If you keep shutting them all out by parroting your cover stories over and over, you'll swear they don't exist too, just like I used to. Does that mean Abby totally healed me? It's complicated too. Some things are just a part of me that will never disappear. Jacqueline's shocked face, stuff that happened with my parents, the aerial view of an entire nation on fire because of one little speech I gave. So I'll never be healed. That's just the wrong word. Mainly it just feels so good that somebody cares about me this much. I feel so good all the time, every day. I'm never in a bad mood anymore. It's kind of crazy. Sometimes I wonder if someone like me even deserves to feel this good. But I don't even care if I don't. When I'm happy, she's happy. And that's what makes me it worth it, trying to stay this way. Jesus, this is longer than I was expecting. I thought it was just going to be like a short little message like, yeah, no saves coming. Good thing I got that other drink. For the first time in years, we live here. Every night, I could swear, I saw a sword in the sky. You know, like a little constellation of stars shaped like a sword, pointing right down at me. It bugged me. Always made me think of the choice I made. But after a while, I'd look up at the same part of the sky, and I couldn't see it anymore. I'd strain to see it, but it just wasn't there. It's not like the stars disappeared or anything, or rearranged themselves. It was more like my mind couldn't bring itself to do whatever it was doing to trick me into seeing it. Then, kind of like the illusion of America itself, I started forgetting I could ever see it at all. Sue, when my godhead dream self was ranting all menacingly about choosing the sword, like, ooh, watch out for being happy because I might come back to haunt you. Lol, what a load of shit. What's going to happen to me? I'm going to die? Of course I'm going to die. I'll die of old age or some other shit before that, which is the reality everybody lives with. Doesn't matter. I made the right choice, and I'm not scared of anything as long as I'm with her. We have a good life here, and we'll enjoy it for however long we get to have it. Our horse, Percy, grew up to be so strong and beautiful, and we love him dearly. For a while, we started wondering about adopting a kid, but they still don't let you do that out here. Okay. That's fine, though, because we decided a big, beautiful horse is more than enough family for everybody. I'm gonna get going now. It's been fun, in sort of a lopsided way. You could see me, but I couldn't see you. You got to obsess over me, got to fuck with my head by trying to insist your decisions for my life are better than mine somehow. I'm not mad at all, though. And honestly, I appreciate all the simping you've done. I'm very impressed, but it's my final wish for you that the final moment I disappear from your life, you'll begin to realize that once I'm gone, the only person left to impress will be yourself. Peace. Kiss emoji, Jen. Well, that was nice. I'm still going to try to see what you can do. Okay. I'm just going to try to zip forward. Do zipping. Oh, geez. You can't zip, can you? Luckily, my mouse has like a problem where it like double clicks or whatever, so maybe that'll speed this up. I'm just going to do all swords. I want to see what happens. I figure if you do a combination of swords and crowns, it's just going to show the same text. Although I do gotta say, I was kind of, I did kind of want to see the train wreck here. I wanted to see everything finally fall apart. Seeing it, finally get stitched together, I kind of feel baited, but I'm not really upset about it. Alright. Making a plea on my freaking saves. Jeez, gang. Okay, so here we are back at the choice. I want to see what happens if you click the sword. I'm not going to do all 32 permutations. I'm just going to click the sword. Durg! Why are you resisting the clown car? His man's choice, blah blah blah. All the burden of this decision is lifted from you. No matter, you can just try again as many times as you take. Well, that actually, an interesting point is that choice paralysis is that a lot of times people will actually like let other people or other forces make decisions for them and just kind of be like, oh, okay, well, that's just kind of how it is, instead of actually making a choice for themselves. Because that absolves them from any responsibility for making a choice, and also it makes it so that they don't have to deal with the possible repercussions of whatever the choice is. SWAT again. Bam! What the fuck? I think our clowns really, really want to go with the sword. Hey, you're still resisting? What's up with that? Oh, they really, really, really want to go with the sword. I really, really want to. That's some absolute. Okay, yeah, it really scripted it in such a way that, it really doesn't matter. Stop trying to tell me what to do. Alright, then we've got the DBZ cutscene coming up. So, yeah, so I do have to say I was a little let down that, we didn't just get to see like the whole train wreck, but on the other hand, I guess it's kind of the point. The whole point to it. It seems like, part of the one of the points he's trying to get across is that everything might seem, like it, has to be a certain way, but then you just kind of make a little bit of distance and see things from a different perspective, and it's like, wow, okay, you don't have to do this, or that sort of thing, that sort of a message right there, but on the other hand, they did spend 8 episodes kind of building up to that. I mean, it's just kind of like sure, I get it, but it's still, the morbid curiosity of wanting to see everything fall apart. But anyway, whatever, it's fine, it's good, and all that. But so there you go, Psycholonials, finally, all 9 episodes completed there. So yeah, very cool. I hope he, obviously this is basically just like one of his normal web comics, except you pay for the privilege of reading it instead of it being like a free comic online or whatever, which, that's fine. I mean, it's an interactive comic even. I mean, it's got like graphics and all this like animation and whatnot, so I mean, it's not, not a rip-off or anything like that. I mean, if you're like one of those webcomic purists that say, oh, it has to be, free online and blah, 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 then maybe you might feel like that. I don't feel like that. I'm probably going to give this a thumbs up in the Steam reviews and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, very nice. Psycholonials, I liked it. I don't, I'll just come out and say this. I don't really agree with all of the political messaging and everything in here, but I was able to enjoy it, and I think most people will be able to also. So, anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed Psycholonials and my terrible spot reading the text. I mean, sure, I flubbed it fairly recently, and I do enjoy a bit of a libation while I'm doing it. So that probably doesn't help at all. So, anyway, yeah, enough rambling. Hopefully I will get this up pretty soon. So, anyway, till next time, later.